Hello everyone, and welcome back to WWE Universe. I'm your host, Jetch, and you're watching Friday Night SmackDown, kicking things off with a European Championship Open Challenge. Well, last week, CM Punk got one over on Yoshitatsu in his first successful European Championship defense. Those continue right now, here tonight, with his second ever Open Challenge. I'd love to see who it is that's going to be stepping up to face Punk for the European Championship. By the way, this is probably the wrong episode to announce this on, based on what I've done so far, but this is, I think I've still got like 4 episodes to go up before this on YouTube, so maybe they'll be a bit more caught up, but I've been updating the wiki to have images for every page where an image is needed, so hopefully, let me know how that looks. If you go to like CM Punk's roster page, the only real catch with that, and the reason I was a bit hesitant to mention that, is because so far I've done every show except for SmackDown and the alumni. It's not been updated since I just after I started the series and the wiki. So it was like, I mean, like the wiki's been getting updated. I meant the images hadn't been updated since like the very early start of the whole series. So just thought that was kind of long overdue, and so I did it. It's taken some time. I've been kind of pacing myself. Sorry, I changed my sound settings there, so I might cut out. Yeah, I've been kind of pacing myself with it a little bit, so like, I did Raw one day, then I did ECW the very next day, and I haven't done SmackDown yet, and I don't mind doing it. It's a little boring, but it adds more content to the wiki, it makes it look better, you know. Sometimes people just like to have pictures and not just walls and walls of text, so I'm trying to kind of liven that up a little bit. I've always kept it as up to date as possible. By the time you're watching this, you know, hopefully the episode of ECW that came before, or at least the episode of Raw that came before, will already have been written up on there. Or anything significant that happened. I don't just write every single thing. I mean, I update the win-loss columns as much as possible. I couldn't tell you what those are at right now, obviously, because they'll be a little bit behind. Again, I'm recording this with headphones on and playing it off my monitor, since I got this new microphone that hopefully sounds okay. This is the second episode I've done with it. I haven't really changed any settings. I think I'm happy with what I've got. I'm just hoping it turns out as good as it sounds. You know, we got a really great competitive matchup between CM Punk and Yoshitatsu last week on SmackDown for the European Championship. I'm very curious to see if that competitive nature of CM Punk, if that elevation, that opportunity that the European Championship provides for those that need it most, I'm starting to wonder, you know, will that pay off in the long run? Will CM Punk be able to go further? Will Goldust one day capture it and go further? Will Tatsu one day capture it and go further? There's no telling what the championship will do in terms of its success thus far. You know, we've seen over on Raw, the light heavyweight, formerly cruiserweight championship has somewhat elevated stars in the past, I'd say. I wouldn't say it's always been a breakthrough. You look at like Zack Ryder, for example, he's kind of in the same position he's always been in. Kofi Kingston, I'd say, very much the same. Justin Gabriel, I think he's dabbling a little bit further than the light heavyweight title at this point. But you talk about and obviously one of the most notable former light heavyweight slash cruiserweight champions that's kind of gone the distance after winning it, I would say at least, is Rey Mysterio, who is a former Intercontinental as well as a former United States champion. So it does show that there is some real potential to be, not to be sniffed at, I should say, in regards. Oh, this is a way worse echo. Hang on. I'm trying to fix the sound as best as I can. Problem is, it just seems to always be a little bit desynced no matter what. It doesn't bother you guys at all. You won't hear it. You won't really know what it is that I'm babbling on about. But for me, personally, oh, it's a big problem. It's one I've really got to work out. Oh. CM Punk tying up Goldust in the ropes. Coming your way, speaking of Rey Mysterio, the current United States champion, tonight in our main event, he'll be facing off against the SmackDown returning Randy Orton. John Laurinitis has spoken out on the events of last week's SmackDown, and he has had an absolute blockbuster of an announcement, which I will be referring to later on in the night during the main event. In regards to the World Heavyweight Championship and in regards to Hell in a Cell. Here's the cover here. Goldust giving it everything he's got. He is really laying into Punk now, turning him over. Final cut! Could Goldust capture the European Championship? Here's the cover. This man has had a lot of title shots, not a lot of luck. Punk kicks out. That's a damn shame. Goldust drops him down the clothesline, goes in again desperately. No joy. There is so much heart behind Goldust. You think about all the Intercontinental title shots, the World Heavyweight title shot he got. We've seen so much out of Goldust. You gotta wonder when is gonna be his day where he captures the European Championship. Kick to the midsection here by CM Punk as he sends Goldust into the ropes, catches him with a drop kick there, and another one there. And CM Punk in with the neck breaker. Here's the cover. Goldust, shoulders down, kicks out at 2. CM Punk can't believe it. And he catches Goldust on his shoulders. European champion, in control, knee to the face. One has got to think this is the end of the match right here. Looks like he bloodied him, may have caught the nose or something. What is Punk doing? What is Punk doing? This is a wasted opportunity, Punk. You have this match won. Here's the cover on Goldust. And Goldust still didn't have it in him to kick out. I'm going to have to credit that one more so to the beatdown that Goldust suffered at the hands of Kane a few weeks ago, and the fact that he probably hasn't fully recovered. That is the honest truth of my opinion. I'm not trying to discredit Punk, but I think Kane had a lasting effect on Goldust. Because this was a very different Goldust tonight. Really slipped up here. Well, nonetheless, congrats to CM Punk, who is still European champion coming out of this one. The open challenges continue. He promises us one every week, and even at Hell in a Cell. CM Punk's still your European champion as we move towards the next match of the night, which I don't currently have a note of. That's right, Edge and Christian are back in tag team action here on SmackDown. There is a team currently on SmackDown they have not defeated yet, and they want to change that. So they're set to face Venis and the Godfather next. Well, I guess this is Edge and Christian's way of saying that every tag team here on SmackDown is on notice. As we know so far, Edge and Christian have in fact defeated every tag team on the SmackDown roster, but when a new tag team arrives on the scene, well, of course they haven't beaten them yet. So naturally, that's their goal. I want to be able to say they have beaten everyone possible. Godfather with his hose. What an entrance. What a man. And what a tag team partner. Venis and the Godfather. Definitely two guys on the SmackDown roster that don't lack personality by any means. These two, I think, have very similar goals. They really see eye to eye. And it's interesting how they formed, as it was basically a short-standing feud with SmackDown former star Chris Jericho, who they kind of sent away from SmackDown as he felt he was too good to be dealing with these guys. So now he's over on Monday nights, where I must admit he is the light heavyweight champion. I think things have really worked out for Chris Jericho leaving SmackDown behind. Edge and Christian have got their challenge set in front of them. We'll see if they can defeat Venis and the Godfather in this tag team matchup. Edge and Christian, known to have defeated pretty much every team on SmackDown. That is their bragging right. That is the thing that we have heard the most when it comes to these two. I mean, hell, there's no denying it. They are the longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions of all time. And their reign doesn't really look like it's slowing down or stopping anytime soon. So, credit where credit is in fact due. These guys, they're on a roll. Well, here we go. It's going to be Edge and the Godfather starting things off first. Godfather confidently stepping up to Edge there. Takes the arm. Edge immediately in control here. You know, a lot of people talk about the fact that D-Generation X are former tag team champions, as well as, you know, obviously both being former WWE champions. And whilst I don't think that either were really anything to write home about, no disrespect intended to the two, I'd say Edge and Christian is definitely a team you have to remember are both former world champions too. I mean, okay, Edge's first reign was literally a couple minutes and he's never won the World Heavyweight Championship since. But it still counts. And Christian literally won the first ever Royal Rumble and then the first ever main event of WrestleMania to become WWE Champion. There is no denying the level of importance that these two have, both as singles and tag team stars. But this is one team. You know, you think about, when you look at a lot of teams, you think, well, you know, everyone comes in here with one single goal, and that is to be on top. I think these guys would be content with either one of them being on top. These guys seem to have a friendship unlike any other, and I can't ever see Edge and Christian being apart from each other. I think this is one team that will truly go the distance and only ever come to an end should a draft tear them apart.
Counter. Christian saved by speed and experience.
Christian taking Venis into the corner here. As Venis comes charging in, kick to the head. Christian in control of Venis, and it looks like he's wanting to wrap this one up real quick. Kill switch connecting on Venis. Edge knocks Godfather off the corner. He just about kicks out of that one. Both Val Venis and Godfather really struggling to get into this tag team matchup, as we're seeing Edge and Christian, who are just primed. They're veterans at this point. They are so successful. The longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions today. How can anyone beat that record if no one can beat them? Even Celtic Cross, when reuniting, were unable to defeat these guys in tag team competition. And there you see the cover attempt by Edge. No joy. Now Venis desperately needs to get out of there. And, oh, no, is that not? No, I guess it's not. He's just running. No, why is this? What is Edge's spear in this game? What? Oh, was he not? Oh, maybe it's because he wasn't center enough. As far as a corner move, right? There you go. Edge now measuring here. This has got to be the beginning of the end. There you go. I'd say this one is as good as over. Even Godfather thinking, what's the point? He got in the ring, but he kind of hesitated a little bit there. Edge and Christian absolutely dominating the competition. And I think once again we're at a point now where there is no team on SmackDown they have not defeated. I mean, even down to the point where Yoshitatsu and Goldust, they haven't just defeated them, they've banned them from the tag titles for the rest of their reign. And their reign doesn't seem to ever be coming to an end. I'll tell you what, these guys are almost definitely representing SmackDown at Survivor Series. And I gotta say, if you're John Laurinitis, you gotta be pretty confident in your chances when these guys are representing SmackDown's tag division. Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined here by the Big Boss Man, who won the Fatal 4-Way last week to determine the stipulation for tonight's United States Championship micro-tournament continuation. Boss Man, you earned the right to choose any stipulation you'd like to face off against Drew McIntyre and Damien Sandow tonight. Now is your time to announce it. What have you got in mind? Well, you see, Justin, I have one goal in mind, and that goal is to ensure that Rey Mysterio is terminated at Hell in a Cell. And that is why I have come to the decision by myself, with no one else's influence, despite what you may think, to announce that all I care about tonight is making sure Drew McIntyre doesn't go any further in this. Damien Sandow is a very smart man, and that's why tonight I'm going to be teaming up with Damien Sandow to face Drew McIntyre in a handicap match. Hey Drew, if you win, you go straight to the finals. Well, what an announcement from the Big Boss Man. Drew McIntyre has definitely got the deck stacked against him tonight. I don't think that's going to let him be held back. But it's definitely not going to play in his favor. Former United States Champion, former WWE Tag Team Champion, former European Champion. Drew McIntyre has accomplished a lot in his career. He's also a former World Tag Team Champion, history-setting longest reigning World Tag Team Champion thus far, over in Raw history. Oh no, he's not a former WWE Tag Team Champion. They didn't win at SummerSlam. Where did I get that info from? Well, still, he's a former World Tag Team Champion, as well as a former Intercontinental... No, a former United States and a former European. I'm making up goals. Well, he's held a lot of championships is what I'm saying. He's a major title away from being a Grand Slam champion in the history books. But this is going to be a very tough challenge.
And his opponents. First, from the Department of Corrections in Cobb County, Georgia, weighing 315 pounds, the Big Boss Man.
Now, I don't doubt the Big Boss Man is a smart man, despite how deformed this version of him looks. What's with the tiny eyes? I just don't get it. I've been seeing so many Big Boss Man matches and he just doesn't look like that. How did they screw it up so much? Anyway, never mind that. Big Boss Man was clearly talked into this handicap match by Damien Sandow. We know that Damien Sandow is a genius. Whether you like or hate Damien Sandow, his intelligence far outmatches anybody else here on SmackDown, and perhaps maybe even a lot of our viewers. That is a very, very smart man. And Damien Sandow is clearly up to no good. He knows McIntyre is a big threat.
And his opponent, from Palo Alto, California, weighing 247 pounds, the self-professed intellectual savior of the masses, Damien Sandow.
And need I remind you that this is the man in possession of the SmackDown Money in the Bank briefcase. He has made it very intentional, I would say, to try and hide that fact as much as possible so that no one suspects when this man cashes in his briefcase. Will allow me to be the party crasher that says Damien Sandow is the SmackDown Money in the Bank briefcase holder, and don't you forget it. This guy is clearly plotting away. He has made it clear. His goals here on SmackDown are very, very clear. He wants to rise the ranks and be able to say he has held everything that SmackDown has to offer. He won the European Championship, and upon losing it, said that he was freed from its clutches, and it was time for him to move further up the totem pole to the United States Championship. He wants that shot against Rey Mysterio at SummerSlam. I mean, at Hell in a Cell. I absolutely expect that Big Boss Man is getting played here, and he's got to be careful. There's Drew McIntyre starting things off against Big Boss Man. And that is a very hard-hitting and vicious opponent to be left in the ring with for the both of them. Really looking forward to our main event tonight. US Champion Rey Mysterio. You know, he's watching this match very closely, but he's got to think about that first-time collision in our main event tonight. Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton. I don't believe we've seen it yet in this universe. And that is our main event tonight. It's going to be a very good one. We've been waiting on the SmackDown debut of Randy Orton. He was supposed to debut last week on SmackDown against The Undertaker. But it was Brock Lesnar who injured The Undertaker in the same way he injured Kane and Triple H by breaking their arms with that Kimura lock. Just hope that Brock Lesnar isn't around tonight. We could do with actually having a main event here on SmackDown. Tag made to Damien Sandow. I find it interesting that Sandow chose to sit it out on the apron to start things off. That very much fits his agenda. When questioned on the location of his briefcase and why it is that he hasn't mentioned it, Sandow says his advisor is taking care of that. That's not for you to worry about. That's not for anyone to worry about. Not even Kane. That is in a very safe place with just the right guy protecting it. I don't know what he means by that, but there is absolutely no visual presence of his briefcase. Clearly, someone he knows is looking after it. Never underestimate the power of Drew McIntyre. A lot of people predicted this man would be a world champion before long. And after the rise that he had last year on Raw, when he became European champion, returning from those injuries, sustained at the hands of the United Kingdom faction, fighting back against them with everything he had, becoming the respected United States champion that we saw earlier in this year, I think there's no doubt about it. Drew McIntyre's got all the potential in the world to go that extra distance. Sorry about that, I had some problems with the microphone. Anyway, I'm back. I don't know what I was saying now. Perhaps he could somehow be the guy to represent SmackDown at Survivor Series. I mean, there's still a couple months I know it's a little premature to be talking up Survivor Series, but it is the next big pay-per-view on the calendar. And following Survivor Series, you really start to feel the beginning of the road to WrestleMania from there. And it's all just, you know, the later half of the year is a very exciting time. You have this big build to SummerSlam from WrestleMania. And once that's over, you start looking forward to Survivor Series, which really feels like the beginning of the road to WrestleMania. And it's all just so great. This is where things really start to pick up. We've actually been told that following Survivor Series, massive news for you all here, we'll be seeing the return of a very short-lived show. Oh! Big flatliner there by Drew McIntyre as he goes for the cover here on Big Boss Man. He could, as Boss Man said, go straight to the top. If he wins this handicap match, Drew McIntyre gets a United States Championship opportunity immediately out of that. Yeah, what's he saying? Yeah, we got a major announcement that has been broken. It has been confirmed that at following Survivor Series, there will be the return of superstars. Superstars in the European Championship and Light Heavyweight Championship division from Raw and SmackDown, as well as the Hardcore Championship defenses, will all be reallocated to superstars in the coming weeks. But that isn't until after Survivor Series.
And there's a stiff clothesline.
Drew McIntyre got Boss Man on his feet, and I gotta say, McIntyre is really laying into Boss Man. Future shock DDT. Sandow's US title dreams could be crushed before his eyes. Boss Man with a kick out though. Never underestimate the power of the Big Boss Man. For a handicap match, I gotta say, Drew McIntyre is really holding his own. I mean, he's got his experience in this kind of tag situation. Former tag champ with Sheamus. We have no idea if the Celtic Cross were reunited for one night only or if they're still a tag team here on SmackDown. There's been no mention of it at all. I've said a million times before, and I'll say it again. I think the way that the SummerSlam tag title bout ended, the way Christian got that roll-up on Drew McIntyre, I think we absolutely need to see a rematch down the line between those two teams. We need a more definitive ending for their match. That just wasn't enough, if you ask me. I don't blame Drew for pursuing the United States Championship one bit.
How much more can the Big Boss Man take?
But if this doesn't work out tonight, I'd say grab Sheamus and move back to the tag division. Brock Lesnar has already got his shot at the World Heavyweight title. That is not on the table. Sandow with that camel clutch as you see McIntyre crawl towards those ropes. Kick to the midsection by Sandow. And there's that big leg sweep we've seen set up so many times. Sandow into the cover. McIntyre able to kick out at one. Not today, says Drew McIntyre. Interesting choice to target the leg there by Damien Sandow. Oh, big rolling elbow there by Damien Sandow. And Sandow now calling to put this one to an end. Is this going to be... Yep, here it comes. The Terminus connects. Wait, what? Sandow got a little freaked out there. And I don't blame him. I'm a little freaked out. What just happened? That big shoulder tackle by Boss Man. And I guess that had done the damage, but McIntyre somehow rose from the dead for a moment there. I don't know what that was all about. Big Boss Man picks up the pinfall victory, and it looks like whatever happens next week between these two, there is a match due next week to determine which one of these two will get a shot at Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship at Hell in a Cell. They're friends tonight, But now there's a match next week, and just like last week, it's Boss Man that got the pinfall, which means it's Boss Man that gets to choose what kind of a match these two face off in next week. Man, they seem like buddies. This is strange.
Following contest is for the Divas Championship. Making her way to the ring from Buffalo, New York, she is the WWE Divas Champion, Beth Phoenix.
Well, last week, Alicia Fox did the unthinkable. She pinned Beth Phoenix to earn this shot here tonight, a one-on-one Divas Championship opportunity. And we have been told that in honor of Survivor Series being such a big deal, there will be a multi-woman match at Hell in a Cell to determine which woman will be representing SmackDown at Survivor Series against the Women's Champion.
And her opponent, representing from Alicia Fox.
A lot of people say Alicia Fox got lucky last week, but Alicia Fox believes that she has what it takes to defeat Beth Phoenix on any given night, and she'll prove that tonight. She goes one-on-one with Beth Phoenix tonight for the Divas Championship. She says her time has finally come. Nikki Bella, the leader of Les Femmes Patel, felt that she should have been the one getting this shot here tonight, as it was her group that won and she is the leader. But it was Alicia Fox that pinned Beth Phoenix, which is why we have this Divas Championship match tonight between these two. These are two women that are really willing to put in a lot of work for that Divas Championship to say they get to come out on top, still Divas Champion, or the new Divas Champion. Beth Phoenix looks very unafraid, and I suppose when you've just retired Karma, you would certainly be a little unafraid to be standing across the ring from Alicia Fox. Oh wow. That's a quick way to start a match off. I'll tell you, if there is a woman you want representing SmackDown at Survivor Series, it is the current Divas Champion. After retiring Beth Phoenix, how could you possibly ever think anyone else... after retiring Karma, how could you think anyone other than Beth Phoenix deserves to represent SmackDown? She got rid of the biggest threat SmackDown has ever seen, and Raw, in the women's divisions.
Phoenix is just displaying tremendous physicality. A swift kick. What a reversal that was by Alicia Fox. So what's it going to take?
A big clothesline, I tell you what, Alicia Fox, she's not getting any offense in at all here. What is this? Phoenix now. Flattens her down, crossing over those... Oh wow, oh, that has got her hurt. That has absolutely got her hurt. And Phoenix chooses to release the hold. Uh-oh. Here we go. It's a glam slam into the cover. That's all she wrote. Just under a minute and a half is as long as Alicia Fox could withstand full force punishment from Beth Phoenix. And Phoenix trying to offer respect after last week's win, and oh! Wow. That's a mistake. When Beth Phoenix offers you a handshake, you don't say no. As we move towards our main event, up next, Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio set to go one-on-one, but up next, just before that, I've been told that the SmackDown General Manager John Laurinitis will be coming down to the ring to make a special Hell in a Cell announcement. Here he comes. Everyone's favorite general manager. No. Stop. No contest. John Laurinitis, SmackDown General Manager. You don't need to say his weight. He's coming down to the ring tonight. He says he's got a really big announcement regarding Hell in a Cell after everything that went down with Brock Lesnar. I gotta say, so far, I've quite liked John Laurinitis as our SmackDown General Manager. I think People Power has been a great movement. Mr. Excitement. That's the one. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past week, there has been a lot of controversy regarding the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, Brock Lesnar. I'm here tonight to announce the status of this upcoming SmackDown pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell, and what it is that I intend to do about Brock Lesnar's behavior. Truthfully, there is no denying that he is, without a doubt, the rightful #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, and that he would make for the greatest champion we've ever seen, potentially. He's grown a lot since he held that championship last year. However, as much as I'd like to see Brock Lesnar represent SmackDown and secure us a Champions of Champions victory at Survivor Series, I do not condone the actions of Brock Lesnar last week on SmackDown, nor his injuring of Triple H and Kane at SummerSlam. So, I am announcing tonight that Brock Lesnar will not appear for competition on any SmackDown leading up to Hell in a Cell going forward. On top of that, as soon as Kane, Triple H, and The Undertaker are ready to return to the ring, I will determine whether or not they are fit for what I'm about to announce. Because tonight, I'm going to do what is best for SmackDown, what is best for the people, and that is to give you the greatest match in history at Hell in a Cell. So it is without further ado that I announce to you that at Hell in a Cell, Kane will defend his World Heavyweight Championship against Brock Lesnar, as well as his brother, The Undertaker, as well as the returning Triple H, as well as the man set to debut in just a moment, the former WWE Champion, Randy Orton, and one additional participant who will be determined next week on SmackDown in a major 6-pack challenge in what is the first ever Armageddon Hell in a Cell. What an announcement from John Laurinitis. Armageddon Hell in a Cell. 6 men. I'm curious who the 6th guy will be. Well, we know that Rey Mysterio will either be facing Big Boss Man or Damian Sandow for the United States Championship at Hell in a Cell in 6 weeks' time. I'm very curious to find out which one of those two it's going to be. They seem like brothers right now. They get on so well. How are they going to fight it out next week? Perhaps they were just really proud they got rid of Drew McIntyre. I mean, he does pose a big threat. Here's what everyone's been waiting for. At long last, it's been well over a year since Randy Orton was last on SmackDown, making that long awaited comeback. We now know that he'll be in the Armageddon Hell in a Cell at Hell in a Cell. Feels really weird to say. I'm looking forward to it. Randy Orton He's got a little bit of a history with Brock Lesnar. Last week we could have seen those two go face to face, but we did not. Randy was completely absent last week from SmackDown. We were set to see him go one-on-one with The Undertaker in a long-awaited rematch. And Rey going straight in for the knee. That's not exactly the return that I think Randy was looking for to SmackDown there. Rey Mysterio, though, to say a very different type of wrestler to Randy Orton. I think that's going to take him completely off his guard. Rey Mysterio is one of those guys, like, you know, he's a light heavyweight, he's a cruiserweight even. Such a small superstar that could easily be manhandled when put against the wrong opponent. But just saying that, though, I think he's got a future as a world champion. I think if you take a look back at a few months back on SmackDown when Rey Mysterio answered a challenge against The Undertaker for the World Heavyweight Championship, he really went in there and gave it his all, and I don't think he came out looking too bad. Yeah, he lost to The Undertaker, but he showed he could go toe-to-toe with The Undertaker. He showed that he wasn't just gonna, you know, it wasn't Alicia Fox and Beth Phoenix from a couple minutes ago. That was a full-on fight between those two. Orton has no idea what he is getting himself into tonight with Rey Mysterio, but he's gotta be at his best. I mean, Randy Orton's gonna be up against Triple H, Kane, Undertaker, and Brock Lesnar in one Hell in a Cell match, with an additional person to be determined next week on SmackDown in a six-man, six-pack challenge. Now, for those who don't know the term of a six-pack challenge, is basically what we used to call a battle royal. That is a six-man match in which pinfalls and submissions are how you're eliminated until there is just one man left. There's been no confirmation on who the 6 participants will be, but obviously it won't be Rey Mysterio, Bossman, Damien Sandow. I mean, it could be Edge or Christian. There isn't a rule against holding a singles and tag title. There's simply a rule against holding the singles and world title. If Rey or Kane never go in for the tag titles, they'd be well within their rights to do that. It's just they have to then accept that they got to defend those titles too. Look at Rey all over the place. Off the ropes, crossbody. And Rey is just flying. No joy, though. You know, it's all good flash, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to be doing a damn thing to Randy Orton. Orton's got to slow Rey down. He's got to take him off his feet. That's really the best way he's going to be able to deal with him. Otherwise, I don't think he's got much of a chance at all. Viper! Stomps on the head of Rey Mysterio. And this is not going to be an easy one for Rey Mysterio or Orton to overcome.
That's not good. And there's the reversal.
Cover attempt by Orton. Mysterio seeming a little worn out now. I think he may have exerted a little too much energy into all that running around. Ooh. Impressive.
What sheer determination. Wow, talk about timing.
What a clothesline.
Mysterio. Has there ever been a superstar?
Rey Mysterio got him set up perfectly. Has he? Right? Right? Did I just get WWE 13'd again?
No, bro, it's a good game. It's a good game. It's just the AI is a little bad. The game itself is good. W13 is a good game. The AI is bad. It's the AI that's bad. Just the AI. It's not the game. The game is good. I don't know how a wrestling game can be good if the AI is bad, but it is. It's good.
What a fierce kick.
Orton manages to fight out of the 619, and I gotta say, I'm really shocked that he was able to.
And did you hear the impact on that kick? Right on the nose.
Oh my god! What a move!
The shoulders are down. He's dialing it up.
He's dialing it up. Rey Mysterio coming off 619.
Mysterio rolled it.
And a... Okay, holy shit! That was so fucking cool.
2.
And Rey is out of here.
Picks up the win.
Damn straight he is. Wow. I did not know you could reverse the 619 with that. What a win. I just marked out for the worst wrestling game I've ever played. That's amazing. No, actually, that's not true. I've played SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. This isn't the worst. It's just not the best. Randy Orton is victorious in a much-needed win before we head into Hell in a Cell in 6 weeks' time. What a way to win. Jeez. That actually popped me. I wasn't expecting that at all. Randy Orton is victorious. And we'll see if he can continue that victory on the road to Hell in a Cell. Currently, his 4 opponents are all unavailable to appear. You got injured Kane, Undertaker, and Triple H, and a suspended Brock Lesnar. Randy Orton's really got to put in the work if he wants to be ready for Hell in a Cell. And I think he's going to be getting a workout every week here on SmackDown. But next week we'll find out who the 6th man will be in a big 6-pack challenge. You don't want to miss it. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, leave a comment. If you didn't, tell me why you didn't, and all that. And I'll see you next time.